In recent times, the destructive power of natural disasters has sparked more than just fear. It has ignited curiosity and deep suspicion. One of the most mysterious events in recent history is the Milton hurricane, which ravaged a supposedly highly prepared, developed nation. People are asking questions that no one seems willing to answer. Could the Milton hurricane have been created intentionally? If so, by whom and for what purpose? And why could such a powerful country not prevent the chaos and devastation, despite its technological prowess? In this video, we will dive deep into these alarming questions, exploring terrifying possibilities, theories, and some well-grounded facts. You might find yourself questioning everything you thought you knew about natural disasters by the end. Stay tuned, because what you are about to discover may forever change the way you see the world. To understand the fear and speculation surrounding the Milton hurricane, we must first look at its sheer magnitude. This storm was not just an ordinary hurricane. Meteorologists were initially puzzled by how quickly it grew in intensity, and even the most advanced weather-predicting systems could not foresee the true extent of the damage. Within a matter of hours, what was expected to be a Category 2 hurricane suddenly escalated to a Category 5, wreaking havoc on everything in its path. But here is where things become even stranger. The nation impacted by this disaster is no stranger to hurricanes. In fact, over the years, this country has developed the most advanced early warning systems, hurricane-proof infrastructure, and disaster management protocols. So how did this storm manage to tear through cities, disrupt power grids, and cause a death toll that was beyond any projected estimate? Could it be that the Milton hurricane was no accident at all? The idea that governments or secret organizations might have the ability to control the weather sounds like science fiction, but it is not entirely without precedent. Technologies like cloud seeding have been used for decades to influence rain patterns. There are also persistent rumors about secretive projects designed to modify weather on a much larger scale. Some people point to the high-frequency active auroral research program in America as evidence that nations have been experimenting with weather control for years. The Milton hurricane's sudden escalation and precise path have led some to believe that it could have been artificially intensified. There is a growing body of theorists who argue that certain governments may have developed powerful weather manipulation technologies as part of an ongoing arms race. While the technology might not be publicly acknowledged, it is possible that these tools could be used to trigger or intensify natural disasters as a form of economic or political warfare. Could the Milton hurricane have been a test of such a weapon? Some suspect that this storm could have been engineered or, at the very least, artificially enhanced to serve a larger hidden agenda. After all, in a world where economic domination and control are increasingly tied to technological superiority, the ability to control or weaponize the weather would offer an unimaginable advantage. One of the most perplexing aspects of the Milton hurricane is the apparent inability of such a powerful nation to mitigate the disaster. With its highly advanced meteorological agencies, satellites, and early warning systems, the country seemed strangely unprepared. Officials claimed that the storm was simply unpredictable, but others are not so sure. What if the systems designed to predict and track the hurricane were deliberately manipulated? Could it be that certain key officials knew more about the storm than they were willing to admit? Some theorists argue that the response to the Milton hurricane was deliberately hindered for economic or political reasons. After all, a crisis of this scale inevitably leads to massive government spending the influx of aid and shifts in political power. In some scenarios, natural disasters create opportunities for those in power to implement changes that would be otherwise impossible. There is a long history of governments using crises, both natural and man-made, to tighten control, increase surveillance, or push through unpopular legislation. Could it be that the Milton hurricane was allowed to unfold exactly as it did to serve a larger, more insidious purpose? There is another darker theory at play here. Some believe that the Milton hurricane was entirely staged, or at least heavily manipulated, by a shadowy cabal operating behind the scenes. These theorists argue that global elites may have interests in destabilizing certain regions or creating economic chaos for their gain. In this view, the hurricane was not just a natural event that was allowed to happen. It was part of a carefully orchestrated plan. The idea of orchestrating such a disaster sounds outlandish, but it fits into a broader pattern of suspicion that has been growing in recent years. With increasing distrust in governments and international institutions, more people are willing to entertain the possibility that large-scale catastrophes are being used as tools of control. If this theory holds any truth, then the implications are truly terrifying. Could the very forces we trust to protect us from disasters be using them against us? And if so, how can we ever know when a tragedy is truly natural and when it is part of a hidden agenda? In the wake of the Milton hurricane, many questions remain unanswered. While official investigations have been launched, some believe that the truth may never come to light. In an age where information is more controlled and censored than ever before, it is easy to imagine that key details about the storm's origins and the response could be buried or spun in a way that keeps the public in the dark. However, the theories surrounding the Milton hurricane continue to grow, and they may never be fully resolved. Whether the storm was a man-made weapon, the result of negligence, or something even more sinister, the Milton hurricane has left a lasting mark on our collective consciousness. For now, all we can do is remain vigilant, question the narratives we are fed, and continue searching for the truth behind the terrifying power of nature, or perhaps the terrifying power of those who claim to control it. As we delve deeper into these possibilities, it becomes clear that the line between natural disaster and man-made catastrophe is becoming increasingly blurred. While we may never have conclusive proof of the true cause behind the Milton hurricane, it is worth asking, what if the next disaster is not natural at all? What if we are merely pawns in a larger, more dangerous game where weather can be weaponized and destruction can be orchestrated with the push of a button? The thought may be unsettling, but it is one we cannot afford to ignore. As technology continues to advance, we must remain aware of the potential dangers posed by those who would seek to use that power for control, profit, or worse. In this video, we have explored just one theory about the Milton hurricane, but it is a theory that opens the door to countless more questions. Could we be on the verge of a new kind of warfare, one where the forces of nature themselves are the weapons? Stay tuned, because this is just the beginning of the mysteries surrounding one of the most devastating and puzzling hurricanes in modern history.